everybody, thank you for joining me. You might remember on a previous video I mentioned I had accidentally snapped the bolt on the guitar's, the Goldtops original tailpiece. So thank you very much to all your suggestions. Most of you suggested I contact MojoAxe in USA as a company who does various replacement parts of a high quality. So right enough, I contacted Dan, I think his name is, at MojoAxe, and he knows about this particular run of guitars. This was part of a special run in 2009. So he said, yes, you think you want that, but what you actually want for your guitar is this. And so right enough, he sent me the whole thing, the whole trapeze and the stop tailpiece, which as I go into the camera, you will see has a lightning bolt along here to provide some sort of compensation for intonation. So not only do I now have a nice new tailpiece and stop bridge, it intonates much better. So let's quickly hear a comparison, because I was really nervous about doing this. In fact, I didn't even do it. I got the guitar tech to do it. I was nervous about losing the tone because, as you might know, I love this guitar. I think it's quite special in terms of how it sounds. And so I've taken a before, which you'll see in a minute, of me just acoustically with this guitar, strumming a G chord across the whole length of the strings acoustically. And then now we're both going to hear for the I've not even heard the comparison myself yet, but I'm now going to record the comparison and see if it sounds any different. I'm still loving the guitar, so I presume there's not any difference of any significance. This is a nice lightweight aluminium tailpiece, I think. So let's see what the comparison's like, first of all, between the two tailpieces. Current setup. Well, that was interesting. I have now listened to the comparison, and to me there's a definite difference. Whether it's better or not, but it sounded brighter to me. Some could say tinnier, less warm, or is it just more alive and that's a good thing? I don't know, but to me there was a definite audible difference. This new one is brighter. For better or worse, it's definitely brighter. I think it's lighter weight. This feels heavy. I don't know if this is some sort of steel. I think this is machined aluminium, or I'm not entirely sure, but this felt lighter. I've watched a few YouTube videos where people change components on their guitar down to I think I watched Joe Perkins. He's got a fairly small channel, and he changed bits on his Les Paul, and every time I watch a video like that, I'm always stunned at how big a difference tailpieces make to your tone, for better or worse. So, yeah. Right, now let's see if the intonation has improved. Here's a comparison before and after. Now let's do an intonation check on the thin E string. There's the open note and the fretted note. So it's slightly sharp on the fretted note. There's the open B. Here's the fretted B on the 12th fret. Definitely sharp. So the open B and the B at the 12th fret of the B string, definite difference there. Here's the open G. Here's the fretted G at the 12th fret. Significantly sharp. Here's the open D. Maybe take that up a little bit with the tuning peg. There we go. Here's the fretted D at the 12th fret. Bang on, weirdly. Here's the open A string. Here's the fretted A at the 12th fret. Slightly sharp. Here's the open E string. Here's the fretted E at the 12th fret. Not bad. So fretted at the 12th fret. Perfect. Open B string. Fretted at the 12th fret. Perfect. Open G string, this was the problem string. And fretted at the 12th fret. I mean, that's amazing. the D string, and fretted at the 12th fret. That's pretty close. A string. Well, that's a bit sharp anyway, like pulling that a bit to make it in tune. And there it is. That's the open A string in tune, and then 12th fret. Pretty close. So the A and D string is very close, but not 100%, and the open E string, and then fretted. Perfect. Right. There's a bit of a story behind the fitment of this. I know you probably think I'm nuts to give hard-earned money to a guitar tech for something that could be, on the face of it, quite a simple job. But I'm 51. I've been old enough and around the block enough to know that nothing's ever simple. I'm not a confident DIY person, and so I just knew there'd be a curveball, and I knew I'd start flapping about when the curveball came. So I thought it's worth it to me to give it to the tech. Now at this point, it's quite expensive. This was something like 285 US dollars. So I think that was about 225 quid for all of this. That was everything, the package, the posting and all that stuff. So not cheap, 225 odd quid. Then I had to spend 60 quid on import taxes, or VAT, sorry. The duty and the VAT came to 60 quid. So now I'm up at 285, 290 odd quid. Then I thought I'll give it to the tech. I'm glad I did, because he had to put it into a vise and slightly bend the arms just to suit the contours of this particular body. Maybe you have to do that with every trapeze that you buy, because every guitar body is maybe slightly different. The point is, you definitely need the string break angle to be... Bloody hell. The point is, if the bridge is sitting too high, the strings will go across the lightning bolt and still touch the rest of the tailpiece. You don't want that, that would ruin everything. So you need it at a certain angle, so he had to bend and play about with it in his vise to make it work. And he has made it work. But then, he quickly tested it at very, very low volume and gave me the guitar back, and I ran home that night, played it, or checked the intonation, checked the acoustic tone, and plugged it in. And this is what happened. Do you hear that crackling? You think if I touched metal parts it would go away. So, at this point, I'm shitting myself. One of my favourite guitars is now unplayable. You certainly couldn't record with it. So, long story short, met Bob, gave him it back. He was dying to get back into the guitar to see what could possibly have gone wrong, because he didn't even go into the electrics when he fitted this. So he was as perplexed as me. When he went into the guitar and the cavity, he was expecting to see a little wire that maybe he'd lent on the pickup and it broke something and he would just be able to resolder it. But no, he's taken the pickup out, he's given me photographs of the cavity. There's nothing he could have done. So now we're thinking, he's going to have to do me a fresh job of grounding the guitar as a whole separate job. And he's very good. I like Bob. He's done the job immediately and fixed it. But of course I've had to be charged now for kind of 2 jobs. So long story short, I'm now over 400 quid in costs. So you could buy a guitar for that. But this guitar is a cracker. It deserves the best. I'm not going to have this guitar and then put cheap parts in it. I want to give it what it needs. So it's now back to tip-top condition. But what he's done, he says, well, I'm going to have to ground it for you. I'm going to have to get a 3mm drill bit, take this back off, drill a hole into the cavity, into the body, sorry, at an angle that comes out into the cavity. So he's gone from the strap hole, or somewhere near the strap hole, he's drilled a fresh hole into there and grounded it. And it's great. And in fact, although it was always my noisiest guitar, it's now really pretty good. So it's improved. So the guitar deserves it, but yeah, an expensive endeavour. But no, I'm delighted with it, and I'm very happy with the tones amplified. So that's the story of my MojoAxe replacement bridge. Would I recommend MojoAxe? I would, because I'm very happy with my guitar. Dan seemed very helpful, and he didn't just send me the first thing. He wanted to know about what kind of guitar it was and where I got it from and all that kind of stuff, and so he did a good job on giving me the right part. So just before I sign off, the only thing I find a bit strange is the lightning bolt on this guitar is very subtle. There's not a lot of clearance between the top of the bolt, the lightning bolt, and the rest of the alloy. Now, if it's incredibly hard material, I'll never have to worry. In 50 years' time, it'll still be great. But it'd be more comforting if it was like that. I mean, look at that lightning bolt. There's so much clearance on that bolt. You can see that from outer space, along with the Great Wall of China. Whereas this one, I'm probably being silly, but over the years, if the strings wore the lightning bolt down a little bit, the strings would then touch the rest of the bridge and it'd become useless again. But I'm probably being very silly, and the material's probably very strong. But there's not hardly any clearance, you can't see it on camera, between, maybe you can. Let's see if I can show you the lack of clearance. There's so little clearance between the top of the bolt and the remaining section of the bridge. It'd be more comforting to me if it was a more obvious bolt. I mean, look at, by comparison, that one. Oh, so much clearance. So, but other than that, yeah, I'm probably being very silly. Overall, I'm very happy. So I'll sign off now and have a lovely day. And if you're considering MojoAxe, I would say go for it. Pretty happy. Have a good day. Bye for now.